And here we see the rear set, pretty standard stuff. Actually looks pretty good for being some of the discount stuff. Probably throw that on first, because I've got all my other sport bikes set up for reverse shift, and this normal shift is really bugging me, so I'll probably get that set up and see if I can flip it around into reverse shift. Got a couple ideas there. I've already pre-assembled a bunch of this rear set. Definitely need to go through and Loctite a whole bunch of stuff when you finally get everything into position. Everything was loose when this came in, so definitely lots of Loctite once you get everything adjusted the way you want it to be adjusted. And with that, I guess let's get the old one off. Since there's no real instructions, I'll try to go through all the steps here. Don't need too many tools. And it pretty much starts by ripping the old one off. Pull this boot down, find just a shaft. Then you get to fight with this pin in the back, which you can't quite see yet. But there's a cotter pin holding this rod in place. You will not need this pin again, because the heim joint will replace it. Let's see. Nope, still can't see it. Let's focus up a little bit. That's kind of a little bit better. So you can see the clip right there, or the pin. Straighten that out. Press it out. Grab it with a pair of pliers maybe. There's a little washer. And there it is. Gone. Throw that in a box to save in case you ever want to convert back. And now we have the new part. Alright. On this side, you need a couple of spacers, which come in a package look like this, and the longer bolts in there, like these. These should have some Loctite on them, because they won't be coming back out. Using the paste because it's a little bit neater to deal with. Seems to work just as well. Grab the rear set. Throw a bolt through. Throw a bolt through. Spin it in place. Grab the other spacer, the other bolt. Drop it on the ground like a fool. And we'll spin this one in. .6mm Allen wrench tightens it up. Probably should torque it. Tight. Is tight. Alright. So I've already assembled toe peg, foot peg, adjustment rod. This guy's got 2 positions, this guy has 4. Tough to see because the depth of field is really narrow today. because it's dark out. And that goes in like that. I should mention I've got the rod adjusted all the way to the shortest setting it can get, just so that I could have a lot of room to play with it. But you know, 3 up and 1 down. And that's the stock way. I don't want to do the stock way. That's what this extra bolt here is for. Because I want GP shift, or reverse shift, as people call it. So, got an extra bolt, M6 25mm, and a nut. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip over the shift linkage right here, so we can put it at an upper angle so we have reverse shift. But first, because everybody wants to know this, let's take a look at the foot position. We'll line this guy back up. And you can see kind of just how far this peg is to this peg. Pretty good distance. It's, you know, 4 or 5 inches the way I've got it set. Not too bad. Hopefully that'll do a decent job. Anyway, let's move on to this. Get that back in focus roughly. Pretty close. Hopefully you can see that. 10mm wrench. Not so easy to do with all the stuff in the way. Loosen it up, spin it out. I'm going to take this off just for the sake of getting it out of the way for a few minutes. Just let everything hang and get it out of the way. So there we are. Bolts out. Pull that out. We can rotate it up to about there. Maybe one less. Still gives us plenty of room. Well, the problem is the bolt is supposed to go in on the top. And we can't do that anymore. So if you take a longer bolt, you thread it in on what would be the tightening side in the original configuration. You'll go up through, get it up to the top, take your nut and put it on the loose, fully drilled side, take a smaller wrench, tighten that baby right up. It can't come off even if this nut comes off, because there's a relief cut in this shaft, and that relief will keep it from coming off. Now you need 10mm wrench again, and tighten this nut down. Until that's nice and tight. Now we can take this and suddenly we have the reverse shift this didn't say it could do. Ready to roll. Yeah. 1 up. 3 down. And that, in a nutshell, is the shifting side. Get things flipped around, and we will do the brake side, which is going to be probably a lot less fun. Have to mess with the springs and things like that. Alright, and like magic, here we are on the brake side. One thing to note about this set, get that in frame a little bit, is that it has the ability to use the stock return spring, which means the brake light switch should work too. Haven't messed with this side yet, so well, I guess we'll find out in a few minutes. Again, I've pre-assembled things like put the toe peg on, put that up here, put the toe peg on, put the foot peg on. That seems locked in place, so it's probably in good shape. I would definitely take it apart and, again, lock tight. That's nice and loose, so it'll need to be Loctited eventually as well. Once everything is in place and you're really ready to be happy with its placement. So again, 12 millimeter here. We'll just crack these loose. Gonna have to mess with the brake coupler with the brake attachment back here. Get that out of the way. It's again another pin. So you'll have to dig that out. Let me reposition the camera. Alright, and there it is. Shot of where the actual master cylinder attaches. This pin looks like we actually have to save it. Not a prospect I really like, but let's see what we can do about getting this pin off. Kind of fiddly. Probably gonna approach it from a different side so I can get the screwdriver on it and unbend it. Well, that's some of it. Spin this around, get the pliers on it, open it up. Can't quite get it with my fingers. That'll probably come out, spin it around so I can get the tools on it. And there it is. Again, there's a washer on the back side. Pull that pin and it's free. Alright. And of course, black parts in the blackness, hard to see. Next up, be the springs. Probably the easiest way is to just go ahead and pull these bolts out. Let the spring tension go, and I'll move the camera back over so we can show what's going on. Alright, back over on this side, and you can obviously see the springs. They're kind of hidden behind this plastic. Most installs tell you to take this plastic off. I'm just gonna stretch it around and not worry about it. I don't want to spend the time to take that off for pretty much nothing. But I gotta unhook the brake switch, pardon my hands, because no real way to get in there. So unhook that, out it comes. Pull the spring off. There it is. Left with nothing. Time to put the new one on. Once again, a little bit of Loctite would certainly go a long way. So I'll just get the screws ready for that. Get that up in there where you can see it. Again, the blue paste. And again, Loctite everything after you've got everything in the final position. So let's get this going. Got a spring thing goes in there like that, I assume. And we will hang it up on its thing. And put this in place. Well, it technically does fit, and it does work, but boy, it's a little bit tight. Put that back in place for a minute. Now, get the other bolt in place. Looks like can't even see this because I'm pointed too high. There we are. A little out of focus. We'll go with it. Alright, and the spring of my thing fell down. Get that back on its peg. If I can find the peg again. Way up there. Alright, and we will put the spring for the switch, which sort of seems to work. And now to put the pin in and hope it fits. Yep, pin goes in. Got the washer. Got the other cotter pin. Managed to not get the pin in right. So let's give that a try again. Whoops. Try to flatten that out a little bit. Technically, should be buying a new one, putting it in. These pins are supposed to be a one-time use thing, but not like a critical part or anything, you know, just the brakes. Still can't get that stupid pin in. In this case, it would certainly be easier to have a new pin. Well, I'll just off camera bend it up a little bit more and see if I can get it to work. Let's try that. I think I've got it. Always use the right tool for the job. Alrighty, and there it is. Turn the key on and see if the brake light works. That'd be kind of novel. Well, as with many other people, it is currently always on. Well, that's going to take a little bit of spring stretching to fix. A little bit of messing around. Oh, probably the easiest way. Let's see if we're in frame here. Shorten up the focus a little bit. If we take very, very carefully, stretch that out, and then tighten that up because it's got a very, very small area that it goes in. Let's see if that made a difference. Actually, let me tilt this up a little bit so you might be able to see it. Can't really pull this out of the way anymore. It doesn't seem to pull. Getting this back on this bottom of the spring, the return spring, it's there. And that has proven to be not enough. So out it comes. We'll do it again. Do it on the bottom side. Straighten that out a little bit. Bend that over a little bit. And let's see how that goes. Probably one of the most fiddly brake switches I've seen in a long time. See if we can hook it with the screwdriver and get it down there. There we are. And it works. Boy, that return spring is really strong though. Probably have to open up a couple more of these. Certainly won't be making a mistake if you're pushing on that. Well, it'll probably take some fine-tuning with some guerrilla engineering. Because I don't think I'm going to bend that wire too easily. But all in all, that is it. That's the install. Tighten these up because I know they're loose. All plastic's back in place. Needs a wash. Get the oil off. Alrighty, well, I hope that's worth something to somebody, and I hope you'll join me on the next little upgrade. I'm not sure what it'll be. I might do sliders. Not really sure, but probably sliders. I'll probably do the T-Rex next, and the ones on the passenger pegs, because the passenger peg ones are ridiculously simple. So not really much sense in making a separate video for those. Ones on the axles will be a little more difficult, so we'll let that go. Anyway, if you like this, please like, subscribe, all that usual YouTube stuff. Could use the subscribers. And again, thanks for watching.